Hey, everybody, this is Shawnee Benton Gibson of Spirit of a Woman Leadership Development Institute. And I am thrilled to be here with you today to talk about a topic that came to me this morning as I was engaging in my meditation. The topic is ghosting. Ghosting. Now, a few things crossed my mind as I was thinking about the topic. I didn't know it was a thing. But Spirit gave it to me to talk about. Hey, Lynn. And so I'm going there today. I'm going there. So as you listen to me, I want you to examine whether you are a ghoster or if you have been a ghostee. If you're a ghoster, you're a person who has disappeared on someone, stopped communicating, maybe even moved. Like some people are so deep, they'll pack their stuff up and they'll be out. Right? And others, they just do it more subtly, just stop responding to text messages, stop answering the calls, and you never ever really know like if something happened or something is up. So today I'm going to talk about the many reasons why a person might go ghost on you and the impact that it has. And I'm just looking at these glasses. I'm like, I got this this glare on my glasses. I want y'all to be able to see my face clearly and not have myself looking like a pirate here where one eye looks like it's out and the other one is not. So let me fix the light while I prepare to hey, there I go, to talk about this conversation. So ghosting. So if you know what I'm talking about, please do post right here. Have you been a ghoster, meaning you have disappeared on someone, not communicated anymore, left them hanging, left them not knowing what the heck is going on? Or have you been a recipient of that type of energy, had somebody go ghost on you and you didn't know what the heck happened? I have a few situations where I plan to speak about ways in which I've ghosted on other people and then also the ways in which they've ghosted on me. Oh my God. Oh my God. So, what do you mean you need to do that? Yeah, I really do. Like, who you need to go ghost on? Bernie, like, what are you talking about? Are you talking about doing it to somebody or talking about how it's happened to you? Which one are you talking about? So, hey, Tracy. So today I'm going to read from my notes. I usually like to freestyle. Hey, Sean. But I'm going to make sure I cover all the points on this subject matter. Like, some of y'all are habitual ghosters. Like you ghost on people on a dime. Like something happens, you're out, you ain't speaking no more, you're giving them the cold shoulder. They see the back of your head, like you walking away, you not wanting to be bothered. And some of us have had that happen to us and done to us over and over and over again. So please do get real. Like if you are a perpetual habitual ghoster, put number 1 in the post on the thread. And if you have been perpetually or habitually ghosted, put number 2 on there so I'll know which one of the categories. And then we'll have a 3 category if it's a balance of both. Like people ghost on you and you ghost on them. Hey, B. So I want to talk about the causes, like the reasons why people go ghost, because sometimes we take this very, very personally and it ain't even about us. It's about something going on with that other person, right? Or sometimes when we're the person who do it on a regular basis, it's usually connected to something that we've been conditioned to do. Like thank you, Beth, for your honesty. So she's one. She says she ghosts on people on a regular basis. I love that honesty. So sometimes when we ghost on people, it's connected to having had that done to us by the people who are our caregivers. So be honest. Thank you, Tana. She's a ghoster. I've done both and I'm trying to figure out which one I do the most. It just depends on the situation, how often I will do it and why I will do it. So Bernie says, or Lamada says, let me read this. Oh gosh, I just ghosted on myself by pressing too many buttons. So Joy, people been ghosting on you all the time. Girl, I'm sorry. I apologize for us who do that. So Bernie says, I never went ghost on anyone. Folks went ghost on me. Bernie, I question that. So I'm going to tell you ways in which you can ghost and you'll probably recognize that you actually do that. So let me get down to it. Causes of ghosting. And then y'all post and let me know if these are some of the causes that lead you to do that to people. So my first on the list is shame and embarrassment. Listen, I have definitely gone ghost because of shame and embarrassment. I remember when I was in high school And I had moved to my paternal grandmother's house, and new area was in Canarsie. I'm like out of myself. Y'all know, for those of you who know me, you know I tell my stories all the time. That's the way I heal and liberate myself. So don't even be embarrassed for me. Like, I'm not embarrassed, so don't you be embarrassed about me telling my own doggone story. So I was living with my grandmother, new area. I came from St. Albans, so I'm moving into Canarsie where people didn't really know me. But during that time, I hadn't processed some things that happened to me when I was young, like molestation and different things. So I was promiscuous. I used to look for love in the wrong places and just engage in activities that were about using my flesh and my body to get attention and to attract energies, like, you know, just energies that I thought would actually serve me and expand me, and they really didn't. So I connected with this dude in the neighborhood, and there were a bunch of friends that we all would hang out with. And one day we were hanging out, and he invited me over to his house, and one thing led to another, and we ended up having sex. And then after that, he told people in the group that that happened, and one of the people that I was close to confronted me about it. And I was like, oh, blip, 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 blip. I can't go outside no more. So I ghosted in that neighborhood. I used to get up really early in the morning. My school was still in Queens and Forest Hills. I would get up early in the morning, get on the bus, get on the train, go to school. And then I would stay at school. I had cheerleading practice. I would come back when it was dark, and nobody saw me in that neighborhood again. Well, I'm exaggerating, but for the most part, I straight up ghosted that whole community because I did not want to deal with the aftermath of making a poor decision and compromising who I was as a person by being with this person sexually. So I know y'all know about that whole shame and embarrassment story, how we can go ghost on people because we don't want to be looked at as bad or dirty or grimy or whatever that the words are that you can fill in that have you feeling so bad about yourself or so bad about a situation that you will disappear on a whole community as a result. So if anybody knows what the heck I'm talking about right now as far as shame and embarrassment, please do post. Hashtag shame and embarrassment equals ghosting. So please do, one of y'all do that for me. The next one I have on the list is grief. We can go ghost because we're mourning something, grieving the loss of a relationship, intimate partnership, grieving a loss of a friendship, grieving loss of stability, or just anything that we might grieve that we've lost. And we just really don't want to be with people. We're just processing that. So as a clinician and a healer, I deal with a lot of, particularly women, but men and women and young people that go ghost because they're just in such a deep state of grief over things that have happened to them that they really don't want to face and engage in conversation because it brings up so much for them that they feel like it's too overwhelming to have to talk, to answer questions, or to just be in that space where they have to explain themselves. So they go ghost. Sayonara, goodbye, not doing this right now, too painful, can't, won't, just not. All right. So some of us have ghosted because of that. So that's on my list. I've ghosted because of grief for sure. Like can't do it. And then combination of grief and shame together, ghosted because lost a relationship with somebody, usually intimate partnership, sometimes friendship, and didn't want to deal with the grief and the shame and embarrassment associated with a group of people that me and that person were associated with. So I'm ghosting. I'm out. I ain't saying nothing. Don't ask me nothing. Don't call me. Don't text me. You ain't going to see me. Ghost. Right? So if that's a scenario that you can relate to, please do. Number 2 is grief and loss of some kind that has us shut down and just go into the dark space, into our closet and not want to come out. So I know y'all know what I'm talking about here. So let me see if I see posts. Sean said, the older I get, it's more number 1 that you ghost on people. This 50 tolerance is low. I get it, Sean. It's like, I ain't got to take this nonsense. I'm out. And B said, share, girl, share. We healing. Yes. I'm going to keep sharing because that's just who I am. Once again, my mantra for living is I expose myself to expand myself. I ain't apologizing to you for what my story is and what I've done that was low vibrational. Ain't apologizing for the high vibration and all the goodness that comes from that. This is me being me and me healing. Hey, Emma. And let me see what else. So Bernie says, and y'all see her name as Lamata Soka. Yes, ghost due to a loss. That's a fact. So Bernie, what kind of loss did you ghost on? Sean, depression. Yes, me, I've ghosted due to depression. And Lynn says shame and embarrassment and ghosting. Thank you for hashtagging. Tana said my Wi-Fi may drop watching from Panama. I don't care, girl. Watch the playback. Enjoy Panama. You shouldn't be on this live. You should be walking around exploring in Panama and ghost on us right now. And B says, yes, I've definitely ghosted over grief. Tana says 1 and 2, which is shame and embarrassment and grief. Hey, Giadora. B said, hi, G. Yup. Tana, exactly. I'll still do no time for the BS. That's right. So speaking about being too old for the nonsense. And Tana says, people have hurt me and I went ghost on them. Okay, so ghosting for self-care, I get it. But I still have something to say about how that lacks integrity, because we would benefit from being able to have conversations with people to complete with them so that they're not left bleeding and hemorrhaging from our ghosting behavior, and so that we feel like we've actually gotten to a space where we can put the big drawers on and say what our truth is without apology and hesitation or reservation, so that they know exactly why we ghosted on them and not over there making something up. All right. And maybe you can transform it, and because you spoke your truth, you can actually shift things so you can actually stay in the relationship and not be a ghost, play Casper on them. So let's move on. Number 3, breaches in your word, right? Money promises or basic promises. I'll be there. I'll do that. I'll show up. I'm connected. I'm here for you. I'm your ride or die. Like all those promises that we make, that we breach. And so we have to go ghost because we didn't keep our word. We did not keep our word. And then, let's see, I had commitments. So commitments, promises, and money. That money can kill off relationships. And because we owe somebody, we can definitely go ghost and never come back again. It's like, I owed them $20. I owe them $200. I owe them $2,000. I ain't got that money. I promised I was going to pay them back next month, and I haven't paid them back. And so I'm ghosting. Deuces, not answering the phone, not answering text messages, not answering emails, no smoke signals. Nothing. I'm done. I'm out. I'm telling my children don't go outside. Don't answer their phones because they might find me. And then they're going to discover that I ain't got the money. So I'm ghosting on me, for me and my whole clan. Like my cousins better not go in that neighborhood no more because I owe cha-cha and choo-choo money. This is how we get down sometimes. And it can be bananas. So Bernie says, I ghost when my hubby passed 20 years ago and when Mama Rose passed. Yes, I remember when Mama Rose passed. And we were all so devastated. It was a tragic passing. So there were so many things to unpack. And I will add that both the situation, I won't name your situation, Bernie, because it's yours to tell. But what I will say is because it was complicated and people had connections on both sides of the equation, that it made it hard for you to process and grieve because of the circumstances. So I can understand how it triggered you on so many different levels. And her passing was different than her passing from an illness or something like that. That's different. Some people ghost because they can't deal with the death of the person. In general, it doesn't matter how they died. And some deaths have so much, so many layers of energy, of story to them that it makes it hard for us to stay present in it. So money, promises unkept, and commitments unkept kill off the possibility for us to stay connected and not ghost on people. So I hope y'all see where I'm going with this. Like ghosting has multiple layers to it, and people do it for a variety of reasons. And I'm not trying to make any of these reasons wrong. Our human dynamics and our human conditioning create a circumstance sometimes where we feel like we cannot bear to be seen or heard or to speak in these spaces. And a lot of it comes from how we've been raised and what we saw our adult caregivers do. And then also impacts of staying and just being humiliated or feeling like you've been humiliated, because sometimes we make that up and then we end up just disappearing on people. And some of us are master magicians when it comes to the disappearing act. So I didn't see what Sean wrote, but I can only imagine. And Sean, if you wrote anything around money, what I know to be true about you is that you are beyond generous. Like you give and give and give and give. And for people who are takers, that giving can be you can be taken advantage of as a giver on that level. Not only do you give money, you give time, you give resources, you give of your talent all the time. And so when people see that, they like to dip in the well and dip in the well and dip in the well and drink till their belly is full. And sometimes the person who is giving gets drained and gets overloaded as a result of that. And then you go ghost because you're like, I'm tired of people taking from me. Or people go ghost because they're not committed to giving back. And they also have a story about you giving and then being able to take advantage and not have to give it back. So there's so many layers to it. And right, Tana, Houdini. Some of us are master magicians. Houdini is an old school magician from when I was a child. And he was artful at what he did, for sure. He could disappear on you at the drop of a dime. And some of us are master disappearers and magicians in that right. And this is not a judgment. Like, I've done it too. I've definitely gone ghost on many people in intimate partnerships. Anger. That's number 4. And if you are a ghoster for 1, 2, and 3, I'm going to go over them again. You're ghosting from shame and embarrassment if you just tuned in. And if that's yours, just hashtag shame and embarrassment. If you're a ghoster because of grief and loss and you just don't want to be in the space of managing that, that's number 2. So hashtag grief and loss. If you ghost because of 3 breaches in your word, and so you feel like you have to disappear because you owe people money, you made promises you didn't keep, or you made commitments that you couldn't honor, or you felt you couldn't honor, or you could and you just didn't, please do hashtag breaches in your word. All right, number 4, anger. I'm the anger ghoster. Like, I will shut down and go silent on your ass. Like, you could be at my house and I'm like walking by you and you're invisible to me. Like, I'm the anger ghoster, but I'm working on that because it's really not anger. It's disappointment and hurt over people not being their word. I'm big on respect and not feeling like I got played. So when I feel like something like that has happened to me, I feel small and then I start to check out and then anger takes over. So I'm an angry ghoster and I'm just like, deuces, I'm out. You did me wrong. You disrespected me. You think I'm stupid? That's why you think I'm stupid? Oh, you think I'm stupid? Ghost, bye, see you, sayonara. And it ends up hurting me because I love people and I need to talk to them. And I teach that, I coach around that, but I allow sometimes my disappointment and hurt to show up like anger. And then I ghost on people. Definitely. Shifra said, I'm a ghoster. What kind of ghoster are you, Shifra? And Natasha says, yup, same here. So you're an angry ghoster? Y'all clarify, because I said a bunch of them. And if you're all of them, like Tana put, I think 1, 2, 3, and 4, or 1, 2, and 4. I'm not sure. I can't see it. But definitely get honest about why you engage in ghosting behavior. All right. So I'm trying to read this stuff so I can keep y'all in the loop. B said, I have ghosted when I have felt that I have gone into a different direction than folks. Yup. And see, high crimes in that ghosting space, because you can like justify the ghosting. It's like, oh, I'm so above that now. Now, you've been rocking with them, and I'm not saying you be, but people, like I've done this. You've been rocking with them for 30 years. Now, all of a sudden, you like, oh, I'm so spiritual. I'm above this. Whatever it is. I'm being funny. Y'all know I'm an actor, too. You feel like you're above a certain way of being, but you've been rocking with them, drinking with them, hanging with them, cursing with them, screwing with them, doing whatever it is that you do. But then once you discover yourself and you rise above, then they're cut off. Like, you ghost on them because they're not good enough anymore. Like, why would I hang with them? I'm so above that right now. But ghosting for that, rather than speaking to people about how you shifted and allowing them the benefit of the conversation, not from judgment. It was just like, I'm trying to work on me and transform me, and being in this circle, sometimes I get triggered maybe to do this thing again or to think like this in this way that's low vibrational. So I'm choosing not to engage because I know I might fall back. But you want to be authentic. You don't want to be making up stuff and saying you're going to backslide and fall back if that's not the truth. So you can avoid telling them the truth, which is you think you're better than them now and you out. Deuces. But this is what we do. I've done it. It's like, oh my gosh, I'm just on this spiritual plane right now and I'm meditating every day and I do yoga. And, you don't do that. So bye, Felicia. Bye, Felicio. How dare you? Like, really? So we ghost and we make up excuses and we justify our ghosting, and it leaves people bloody and hemorrhaging in our wake. So we need to be mindful of how we leave relationships, like being complete and saying what there is to say to people and not just leaving them hanging like that is a human and loving and compassionate thing to do. So anger was number 4. Y'all ready for number 5? We ghost regarding relationships. We get into intimate partnerships and then we're out with our friends, with our family. They're like, hello, where are you, Sean? Where are you, Sahu Speed? Where are you, Natasha? Like, just going, me and my boo, we doing our thing, we living our lives, and all the people that were there when you weren't booed up are like cut off, or you won't have as much time for them. And not only do we ghost on people when we're in a relationship and we feel like we're in love. We ghost on people when we're in a relationship and it's unhealthy. So I've ghosted on people, especially when I was a teenager, when I was in a relationship with somebody who was crazy and who was jealous of my girlfriends or jealous of me talking to other guys and stuff like that. So it's like, I can't be around nobody. I ain't answering the phone. I ain't coming to no parties. I ain't gonna be hanging out at the park because this dude over here is straight crazy. And if I smile too much, there's gonna be a fight later on. So some of y'all know what I'm talking about. Being with that person who is like crowding your life in a sense of taking you over energetically. And it's like you either choose them over or you choose me. And it's dangerous not to choose them. And then it's not always that extreme. Some people are just insecure. They're not hurting you or beating you or threatening you. They're just insecure. And so to bring them around when they're going to be acting that way and shut down is just not a healthy thing to do. And so you just stay in the closet with them and you don't come out as much anymore. And people are left hanging, wondering what the hell is going on with you. Or they see very clearly what's going on with you. You in this relationship with your boo or whomever, and now you're going to be gone. And I've had friends who've done that to me, and then they came back on the scene after the relationship was over because the person was crazy, right? Or not. Let me be nice. I don't want to be low vibrational, but the relationship wasn't healthy. It was toxic, and they figured that out, and then they came back on the scene. And I'm compassionate about that because I've been there, done that before, and so there's no judgment over here by me. But we need to look at why we go ghost, and once again, what the impact is. So let's see what B wrote. Oh, going in a different direction. Tana said 1, 2, and 4. Let's see. Tana said facts. I don't know which facts you're speaking of, but if you're talking about going ghost because you're in an intimate partnership, definitely facts. People do that. Joy says, to be honest, I've been an angry ghoster. Thank you for your honesty and authenticity. Natasha said angry ghoster. Tana says sometimes ghosting gives me peace. That's right. But I don't call it ghosting, right? You can get peace by virtue of you making a powerful choice for yourself and choosing to release in love. I remember when I went on a cruise, it was Jamaica. I know I stopped in Jamaica and Otros Rios or some other places. And I did a ritual of release during that trip. And so I wrote down all the names of any men that I had intimate partnerships with. And I decided to release them in love. I couldn't talk to all of them because I couldn't reach all of them. And some of them I could talk to and I did have conversations with, but I cut the cords. I released them in love. It wasn't about, oh, I'm out and, I'm never going to speak to you again, because that's not what this is about. And I wrote down what I learned from each and every one of them and thanked them energetically and spiritually for what I got out of the connection in the relationship, because there's something to learn from high vibrational stuff and low vibrational stuff. So if it's possible to ghost to get peace, and I don't even want to call it ghosting, to speak to people or to release, if you can't release by talking to them, because sometimes it's not possible, it's too dangerous to do that, you can release by writing a letter and burning it. You can release by speaking it out loud or talking to another person and just having them listen and be a proxy for that person. You can do it with integrity and not leave things unfinished and incomplete, right? So Bernie says, I just told you I'm about to go ghost. Anger for sure. I'm so ready. Laugh out loud. Who you about to go ghost on, girl? And Susie says, is it still ghosting when you've tried to address an issue and things don't change, so you bounce? Yeah, if you've made the effort to clean it up, to address some of the low vibration that's there, to deal with the beef, with the issues, and the person is not open and amenable to transforming that and they keep showing up the same way. But I usually tell the person, listen, if this is not going to shift like I've tried, then I'm going to have to release the relationship. It's scary. Sometimes, not all the time. Sometimes it's easy, but I try to do it with completeness. And I'm not saying I'm always able to do it, but I try my best to do that because it's powerful and it gives me power. And when I try to go ghost and just disappear on people and disappear into the night without them knowing, then it diminishes me and it usurps or takes away my power. So y'all consider this. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just offering an opportunity for you to really look. Hey, Will. All right, I'm moving on. I said relationships was number 5, either being in love or being in an abusive or low vibrational relationship that has you go ghost because the other person can't deal with you being present with your friends, your family, your colleagues and stuff like that. So number 6, sickness, right? You're what do you mean people ghost when they're sick? Sometimes people are so secretive and they make themselves wrong. They're ashamed of being sick. They don't want to be seen if they've lost weight or if they gain weight, or, they're not looking themselves, if their hair fell out, or, whatever it is. And they go ghost instead of telling people, you know what, I'm sick, I need a moment, or I'm sick, can you come around and help me out? Like, we'll go ghost and try to lick our wounds in the corner by ourselves. And it doesn't work. Like, literally, we're here so that we can be cared for by community. Not people that are toxic, of course, but people who care about us. So anybody on here ever been ghosted on by friends or family that were sick? They kept the secret, and then God forbid that this happens to anybody, but I've had people who've gone ghost and then they transition, they die because they didn't tell anybody. And it's like, are you serious? But this is what we do. We're conditioned to believe that we should be ashamed about our sickness or ashamed about us not being at our best. And so some people go ghost when they're not well. And I'm telling you, if you're one of those people, whether it's mental illness, which is a big one for people to go ghost on, or it's a physical issue or a combination of both, let people know what's going on. And even if you're not going to necessarily be around as many people, tell the people that you trust, and then let somebody be there to cover you, because community and partnership is the way to transform that thing that we do to hide and to diminish and to deflect and to deny. Like, we really need to stay present in our lives and stay present in our relationships, especially the ones that we say that mean the most to us. So who on here are the number 6 ghosters from sickness? Please do post. Let's see. Beth Knight said, I've ghosted in anger in the beginning of relationships and when people drain me too, with too much of their issues. One thing I will say about this, Beth, is that we attract energy based on how we're wired and where we are and who we are. So if we're the type of person who thrives or thinks we thrive off of being the solution to people's problems, that friend, that go-to person, that martyr, like I'm a stand for everybody, then we'll attract that energy. And then when it becomes too much for us, then we'll be like, deuces, I'm ghosting on you. And it's really important to look at how you continuously ghost on people who you feel overwhelm you. But the common denominator in that ghosting behavior is you, because you keep showing up in these places and people keep doing stuff. And I'm not talking to just Beth. I'm Beth put that out there, but I'm saying to anybody who's a perpetual, habitual ghoster because people overwhelm you. Like, really look at how you are the common denominator for that and what you're doing and how you're being that actually creates this ghosting phenomenon. So I'm going to ask you, because I have 2 more, to please share this post, this Facebook Live, so that other people can participate with this, because Spirit gave me this message today. And clearly, based on what you have been posting, this is a phenomenon. This is an issue. So, let's keep talking about this and sharing it with other people so that we can transform this dynamic and really deal with what is at the source of our ghosting behavior. Is it learned behavior? Is it because we have a habit of showing up for people and attracting toxic relationships and then making that wrong and then disappearing on folks? Do we have a habit of getting booed up because we are getting into codependent relationships where everything that person says and does is like of the utmost importance to us, to the point where we cut everybody off? Like, what's at the source of it? Or if we're an angry ghoster, what is it that's going on with us that makes it so critical that we have to shut down and shut people off and cut them off and leaving them hanging or leave them in the dust, rather than deal with the upset directly and deal with us and what is happening with us that creates and generates these triggers that has us say that we got to leave rather than cope. I'm not saying tolerate stuff, but I'm just saying, just rather than address it, we have to go ghost. So let's see. B laughed and said, but we just not feeling the same way about life. I know, B. It's like we's different. But I'm saying, for those who have a story around, like, I'm above this now, like, I can still be with friends who don't believe what I believe and don't practice what I practice and not succumb to whatever it is that they're doing, right? I released my relationship with organized church because I'm more eclectic in my spiritual practice. Can I still go to church and worship with people who still believe what I used to practice before? Absolutely. I integrate the things that I learned from those spaces and the new things that I've learned. And I can be around people who go to mosques, synagogues. I can be at a Buddhist facility and sit with them and engage. Like, I can do that. People who are Hare Krishnas, like, there's a common denominator, which is a belief in something higher than ourselves. And I'm using spirituality. You might be talking about something else. Like, if shoot, if the people you were hanging with, they're smoking crack and drinking all the time and you're in recovery, you don't need to be hanging with them. I'm not talking about that, but I'm saying some reasons why we ghost on people that are about judgment as opposed to us elevating our lives and healing ourselves and not wanting to be triggered back into old behaviors. So moving on, there are two more. Tana says, but you try and still no change. Ghost, I understand, and I get that. Lynn said, unfortunately, I never got the spiritual ghosts. I got the ones who want to preach. I had to ghost them. Oh my God, but I gave them fair warning. I get it, sis. I totally understand what you're saying. I truly do. Two more. Y'all hang with me and please share with other people so that we tag people on this, share it with them so that we can all be in this conversation together. So deep joy and a windfall, right? What do I mean by that? Sometimes we get a hookup. We experience deep joy. We experience an abundance or a cornucopia of money or opportunity and resources, and we ghost on people. Any of y'all guilty of that? It's like, I used to be hanging with my friends and we would be eating ramen noodles together and I would use their EBT card and they would use mine. But now, my business is booming and I got it going on. And so I can't hang with them no more. I'm on another level. Y'all. So you ghost on them because you hit the gold mine. Like, what's up with that? What is up with that? And people do that. They even do that around relationships. It's like my girlfriends, they not in relationship, but now I'm in love and they ain't got no man. So I can't be hanging with them because, they ain't got no man and they going to bring me down. No, we do all kinds of stuff that just has no integrity. So when we experience deep joy, share that. Let people see and experience when we're in a joyful space, and don't go ghost on them. Let them experience what it is like to have to move and shift from a space of not having as much to a space of having abundance, and how you can be humble, compassionate, how you can be generous and share. Now, you don't want to be people that hate on you when you reach that space, but some of us will say that people are hating on us when they're not, when it's really us, like feeling like, oh, been there, done that, I'm out. Be mindful. Remember where you came from and support people with the come up. Like, when I get contracts and stuff, I subcontract. I have people work with me so that I can share the abundance and the wealth. And it also creates a space of balance for me because I get overwhelmed sometimes trying to carry all of that load for myself. So I share the wealth because I don't believe like I'm losing because I invite somebody in to celebrate, partake, and to experience it with me. So if you're one of those deep joy ghosters, out yourself. This is one that people don't normally out themselves for, but if you've done it in your lifetime, like you got something and manifested something, people do it all the time in our communities where they, grew up in the hood and then they make big and then they don't come back anymore. It's like, ghost, I'm out. I'm above that. I'm living on Park Avenue. Y'all over here on Atlantic Avenue. I can't do it. I can't be with you. I can't be around you. So we've witnessed it, and some of us have done that with family, with friends and stuff like that. So out yourself and stop ghosting because you've experienced great joy and abundance and a windfall and actually shared the action with other people. One more, hang with me. We ghost because we're in danger, right? I saved this for last. We need to be safe, and so we ghost. So women in domestic violence relationships, people who, gang involvement, situations where maybe even family members or folks are stalking us or trolling us and stuff like that. Because remember, I didn't focus on this a lot, but we'll ghost somebody on Facebook or on Twitter or something, and they don't even know they ghosted. They don't know until they try to tag you on something that you've unfriended them because you're mad about something they said or their political views or whatever that is. Like, some of us are like real grimy with our ghosting. We just be like, I'm out. I'm going to unfriend you. I blocked you on my phone. And the person doesn't even know they blocked. Like, if it's safe and you can have the conversation, have the conversation. Like, once again, put on the big drawers. We're grown. You can talk to somebody about the relationship not being in alignment with what you both desire and deserve maybe. And you don't have to ghost in the dark. Like, really, you can actually complete with the relationship and tell people how you feel so it doesn't have to end that way. So how many of you have ever had to ghost on a person or a situation or like a full community because of danger and safety issues? I get that. Like, I totally understand that. There was a time when, my family members, there was so much going on with them. I had to go ghost because it was volatile in the family dynamic, and I just couldn't be around anymore. And I stopped communicating because when I would communicate, I'm so sensitive to the energy of the family at that time. It was when I was in college that I was like, I'm going to have to, when I'm off for school breaks, I'm going to have to go and stay at my friend's house for the school break, because going home to my family, I may not make it out alive, or somebody over there might die. And that was when I was young, and there was a lot going on, and, since forgiven and, complete and all that other stuff. But sometimes we have to ghost for our own safety and well-being, which y'all talked about earlier. And if it's possible to talk with the people and let them know, great. But most often when it's a matter of safety and danger and all of that, it's not possible. So I'm going to go through the list again, and I'm going to speak really quickly about ghost busting behavior. Yeah, play on words. Yeah. Yep. Ghost busting behaviors, like things we can do to actually prevent ghosting, and to create a space of clear communication and release and balance. So number one, causes for ghosting, I've said shame and embarrassment. Number two, grief and loss. Number three, breaches in your word, money owed, promises unkept, commitments not kept. Four, anger as a ghosting behavior or a cause for ghosting. Five, relationships, falling in love with someone and then ghosting on the people around you. And then also abusive relationships which have you go ghost because it's unsafe to try to stay connected to people because the partner is so jealous and insecure that they create an impossibility for you to be around your folks. Six, ghosting because of sickness. It's like, I'm sick, so I can't be around anybody, and just like going and nobody knows what the hell happened with you or what's going on with you and can't help you. Seven, deep joy and experiencing abundance and a windfall, and then ghosting because it's like, wow, got this money, was with y'all when we was all poor together, but I'm out. And that's just an example. And number eight, danger or safety issues that cause us to ghost on people. So please do whatever the combination of ghosting behaviors you have are, or the one main one that you have is. Please do post. Please get honest. Please declare whether you're willing to give this up or not, because some of us are not willing to give it up. It's like, yo, I ghost and I'm justified and I'm going to keep doing it, right? So what I'm going to quickly talk about is maybe 3 ghost busting behaviors. So raising your emotional intelligence. Some of us operate from our head. So we think about what happened to us and what this person did or what the circumstances are. And then we feel justified in ghosting. But if you bring your spiritual intelligence, your emotional intelligence to the forefront and operate from looking at all of them, then you can figure out what's really going on. So you don't have to ghost. You can actually face it and take care of the relationship situation. Like even ghosting on jobs, like quitting. I'm out, right? You think you're justified, like they treat me bad, right? But we take jobs and we are underpaid. We take jobs and we're mistreated. We kind of get the inkling that the supervisor and those folks are not going to necessarily treat us right, or it's a toxic work environment, and we take the job and then we act like we're a victim of something when we say yes to it, and then we ghost. We just stop showing up. Like instead of putting in our resignation, we're like, deuces, I'm not coming back, right? And then we experience the impact of that if we don't have another job lined up. So raising our emotional intelligence and working on bringing that to the forefront and combining it with our intellect and our spiritual intelligence, and allowing our intuition to be part of the decision-making process. So that's one ghost busting offering. Another one, and I said this already, self-examination, right? Self-examination, it ties into emotional intelligence, but really looking at where you are habitually ghosting and you are actually the catalyst for why it keeps happening, not everybody else and everything else as you want to believe. So that's another ghost busting behavior. And if you can't do the self-examination or exploration on your own, get a therapist, get a counselor, get a coach, have somebody who's objective, support you, and really getting clear about why you keep exiting stage right and left or jumping through the trap door in your life and in your relationships. Also, I have here no's, right? So saying yes and saying no are equally as powerful when it's authentic. So we don't have to ghost on somebody if we lend money and we know that really we wanted to say no, but we said yes. That's on us. And then it's like, they owe me this money, so I'm ghosting, I'm out, right? Or knowing you're asking for something when you know damn well you can't pay it back or you don't have the resources. Be honest, and then the person can choose whether they can't want to lend you the money, because some people will just give you the money. Like somebody like Sean, I know he's like, yo, if you need it and if he loves you, he'll give it to you. Don't be lying about giving it back. Like tell him, and then he can say, okay, take this, and this is a gift, and that's it. And then you don't have to be ghosted on, and you don't have to ghost on other people because you weren't honest with yourself and with this other person. So balance your yeses and nos. Like really look at the fact that you have the power to use yes and no as affirmation, declaration, prayer. What other thing do I say about yeses and nos? Affirmation, declaration, prayer. There's another one and I can't think of it. Well, shoot, answer, like yes or no. Yes, I'm doing it. No, I'm not doing it, right? So look at them equally. And you can powerfully say no to somebody and feel energized by that. Like I said no. With all the information available to me, I said no. And I'm okay with the no. And even if they're not okay with the no, I'm okay over here with the no that I gave, because I know that it's the best answer for me. It's an affirmation, declaration, prayer, and it's my answer. Take it or leave it. Or saying yes powerfully and not having it be wobbly and inauthentic, and then making people responsible for your inauthentic no and then ghosting on them. So these are my words for today. I'm so grateful to have you all listening and tuning in. And as I asked, if you could please share this, because Spirit gave me this message this morning and it was like, go and do it. And I kept putting it off. I was going to do it at 12 o'clock. Then I was going to do it at 3 o'clock. And it's like, girl, stop. Like really do this live, like share this, because it's going to make a difference for someone. So if this has made a difference for you, please heart it up, like it up. But overall, please do share it with someone else that it will make a difference for. And, for those of you who tune in on Thursday nights for my cousin and my Facebook Live, we're the Womb Warriors. Tune in tomorrow night. We'll be on at 9 o'clock, and we'll be talking about our bodies. Is our bodies our friends or are our bodies our foes? Like we're going to be looking at that. So tune in tomorrow night for Facebook Live. And for any sisters who are on here, and if you're available at 7 o'clock, I'm going to be doing an orientation session about my Rite to Passage program. So if you are interested in taking a journey of transformation and you want to do that with other sisters that are in transition, it's an intergenerational program for women in their 20s to women in their 70s. Please do join, and I will post the number on here so you can dial in at 7 o'clock. I love all of you. I love all of you, and stop that ghosting. See ya.